kind of want to be a mentor myself. Going through that and not having that father figure, that mentor in my life, I think that's what I want to do.
I was really inspired by my conversation with Dennis Bouthillier. He shared with me challenges he faced as a 9-year-old boy and how that's really impacted his life. He wants to give back. He wants to be a mentor. He wants to turn something that was painful into something very positive. I think you're going to be really inspired by Dennis Bouthillier. Today, my guest is Dennis Bouthillier. The French accent is Bouthillier. Did I say that right?
Bouthillier.
Bouthillier. Bouthillier. I love it. All right. So, Dennis, welcome to Our People, Our Purpose.
Happy to be here.
I am happy to have you here. So, tell us a little bit about what you do for C&G and how long you've been here.
I'm in production. I'm an operator 3. I've been here about 11 months. I make plastic.
All right. You make specialty film, right?
Yes. Medical stuff, food stuff.
Yep. So our film's very important for protecting, whatever it's being packaged in, like making sure that the food has the shelf life protection it needs, making sure that medical film keeps those instruments sterile. So that's quite a progression for you to move, in 11 months, all up to extrusion 3. So you must be a go-getter. Tell me about your experience so far.
I had a really good experience. I think I have a really good shift here on A shift. I came in, I saw the opportunity that you can kind of move through the ranks, get raises real fast. I jumped on that immediately.
Mhm.
I have a really good team. They've trained me up. They're also go-getters.
Yep.
So,
Awesome. So it sounds like a great fit.
yeah.
So tell me about being an owner, getting shares of company stock awarded. What is that like for you?
That is weird. I've never heard of that before. I did stone cutting before this for a little bit, small company. There was nothing like that.
Uh-huh.
There was no bonus, no ownership, and you see the difference in culture. Guys come in and they're like, I'm getting paid anyway. We don't care about anything we're doing. Where here it's more we care about the product because we're directly benefiting from it.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
we're always driving home scrap numbers, bonuses,
Mhm.
the stock price. I think that went up to $7 from $5 over the last year,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell me what you like to do when you're not working.
I like to play video games and go on the occasional hike.
Ah, okay. You have a hobby that many I've talked to have, which is playing video games.
Yeah.
A lot of people enjoy that. So is that something you do like with friends, where you play like with compete against other people, or tell me about it.
Yeah, I knew a lot of guys from high school back in the day.
Yep.
I say back in the day, more like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm still young, but
I was going to say, yeah, back in the day, 3 years ago. Yes.
yeah, so I knew a lot of guys. This new day and age, you got multiplayer games and stuff like that. So that's generally what I do for my social thing.
Yeah. So it makes it more fun, like having the other people that do you compete or are they on your team?
Sometimes both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's always fun to get competitive with the friends. You can always talk trash.
Yeah. So what's your favorite game?
Right now, Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
It's like a horror game.
A horror game. Oh, well, we're in the Halloween season here, so
Yeah, spooky season.
spooky season, spooky games. So tell me about the occasional hike.
I think
How occasional and where do you hike?
mostly up in New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
My father, he's works for the Appalachian Mountain Club. He's a leader for them, so he
Mhm.
likes to get me up there, and we do. I forget what the last one was. I think it was Mount Tom, and that was a few months ago. So I would say probably a big hike 4 times a year, and then occasionally I'll just go for a walk in the woods.
Yeah. What's a big hike? Is that like an overnight hike or how long is a hike?
Like 8+ hours round trip.
Wow. That is pretty good. You got to be in shape for that.
Yeah, not so much recently. Been eating too much steak, eating too much good food.
Is the Appalachian Trail in this area? Like
Yeah,
part of it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
now I
how
know what you're
far?
talking
Okay.
about.
Okay. How far is it from here?
I think it's only a couple hours. I want to say like 3 hours or something.
Yeah.
Isn't
So
that the cross country trail?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do that.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just thinking, I don't know, whatever reason I was thinking, man, that would be like
An
an
experience.
experience, right? Kind of, you said you like to get pushed out of your comfort zone and maybe, you know, do something a little bit different. Go on a hike like that.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to focus on working out and getting in shape and stuff like that. It's kind of one of my personal goals, and I think I'd have to do that to be able to do like a
There you go. Now you set a goal for yourself.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I have always found that in my life, having, setting goals, like what do I want to achieve 5 years from now, 10 years from now, can really kind of keep you focused. So think about that.
Mm.
Unless you have one. Do you have a 5-year goal, 10-year goal right now?
Yeah, I want to own a house.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Saving up right now, pretty close to getting a car. And then after that, the goal is to save up to buy a house. I want to build my own house.
Wow.
I want to buy the land, get it stripped, do all that stuff. That sounds like a fun project.
Like literally build it yourself, or you mean manage people that are building it? Like,
Yeah, I want to. I don't have the skills to be able to build my own house,
okay. That's
but
what I
I
was
want.
curious.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of oversee it and kind of
Mhm.
see it be built up.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, then you're living in there, and 20 years from now, you can be like, "I built this house."
Yeah, I worked
Yeah,
hard for it.
yeah, telling your kids
Yeah, my grandkids, hopefully.
and your grandkids. Excellent. Do you like to cook?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Something I cooked recently was shrimp fried rice.
Wow, that sounds complicated.
It is. It was like a 2-hour process. All the dishes, all the cutting the vegetables.
Mhm, okay.
Yeah.
Did it turn out?
Oh, it was amazing. It was A1.
Wow, so you'd make it again.
Yeah.
Who'd
Oh,
you
I have made it multiple times
Oh,
before.
you have,
Yeah,
okay. Who did you make it for the last time?
just me.
Just you.
Yeah.
Alright,
I
so
made
you
like 4 days worth and then I brought it here for my lunch.
okay, alright, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of guys miss out on that. They just get whatever out of the vending machine, wonder why they have no energy. That's how I
Yeah,
kind of like stay active throughout the day. I have energy drinks, I cook my own food. I like that.
wow, that's good.
Yeah.
So, what else are you into? You got the hiking, you got the video games, you got the cooking.
I would say that's about it.
Okay. All
Those
right.
are my hobbies. Other than that, I'm chilling with the friends.
Okay.
Have a fire or something.
Yep. Sitting around the campfire. And I love that. We were just talking about that earlier today. Like, this is a great time of year to do that and sit outside. Do you roast marshmallows?
Nah, I haven't made s'mores in a long time.
I
I wanna
know.
say years.
I know. You should do that. You should suggest that
Yeah, I'll
next
do it
time you're
next
sitting
time.
there in front of the fire. Like, let's make s'mores. You know what, though, with s'mores, it's like one is enough. They are so sweet and gooey. And yeah, it's like you eat one, and it's like, oh man, that was a sugar high.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up here in Greenfield, Massachusetts, one town over. Been there
Okay.
my whole life.
Right. What was it growing up like for you? What were you
Uh,
like as a little boy?
I was a pretty smart kid.
Yeah.
Uh, I was naturally gifted, had
Mhm.
high test scores, was a high achiever.
Mhm.
Kinda changed throughout middle school. Didn't exactly become a high achiever anymore. I wanted to
Mhm.
be cool, I wanted to hang out with people,
Mhm.
and, same thing with high school. Kinda became a low achiever. I wanted to be in all the easy classes, kinda taking the easy route.
Mhm.
Ended up dropping out of high school. Uh, Went over to the tech, took a class there trying to get into CNC machining. Didn't really get a position for that. I got one offer. They weren't paying anything,
Mhm.
paying less than McDonald's.
Yeah.
It was in Vermont, and, I got a job offer from here, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll jump on that, see what's up there." Ended up working out.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really interesting story. Why so you said like in middle school you sort of even though you're gifted, really smart guy, kind of you wanted to be a cool kid, peer pressure, right? To be yeah.
Also, during that time, I think I was like 9, my father ended up going to jail, so there was kind of a weird situation going on there, like, I didn't feel good mentally inside.
Mhm.
I felt kinda alienated. I'm like, everyone else, they have dads and moms that aren't going to jail,
Mm.
so I felt kinda weird, and
Yeah.
I think that kinda influenced where I ended up going.
Yeah. No, I get that. I can't imagine what that would be like, at 9, going through something like that. And certainly you see that with with people when they go through something really challenging when they're young, it's really hard to focus on like what everybody else is doing, like the schoolwork. It's like doesn't really seem like it matters at the time.
Right. I feel like growing up with a single mom as a man is an interesting experience as well. I feel like you really need that father figure in your life, a mentor to kind of
Mhm.
keep pushing you. I think the lack of that also
Yeah.
influenced it.
But you figured it out, you know? Sometimes you look back, like, I know it's true for me. I look back on some of the toughest things that I went through in my life. It shapes you into who you are today, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, so sometimes it's those things that when you're going through it at the time, they're really awful. But when you look back on it, you're like, you know what? I learned something from that, or I got something from that, or it made me, resilient and, really taught me how I can get through anything, right?
Right. And I think that's going to influence my future. I think about it and I kind of want to be a mentor myself. Going through that and not having that father figure, that mentor in my life, I think that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? I want to be a good father, a good mentor to somebody
Mhm.
because you really need that as a young man.
That's really inspiring to me to hear that.
Thank you.
So what about in terms of your career here at C&G? You like to be a manager someday, supervisor? Like, what do you see for your future?
I'm a kind of go with the flow kind of guy. Whatever opens up, I want to keep moving forward. I know that.
Mhm.
I want to keep climbing the ladder. But I could go with whatever.
Yeah.
I see myself in any position. I know I'm gonna excel there.
Well, you're smart enough.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you were on a path there when you were younger that they say what you're like when you're young, that's who you are really inside, right?
Mm.
And that's who you are. So, it's cool. So when you were young and you were going through obviously some really tough challenges with your dad, was there anyone there other than your it sounds like your mom, was there for you? Any mentors or anybody that a grandma, grandparent that really made it an impact on you or shaped you?
I wouldn't say so, and that's why I feel like it was a big challenge. My mother, single mom, had to work, had to
Yeah.
support, so that's what she was a good mom. She
Yeah.
did that. She supported me and everything like that, but she wasn't there like emotionally, you know what I mean, to talk through that kind of stuff. She just
Yeah.
had to work, work, work to pay the bills.
Sure. No siblings?
No siblings.
Ah,
At least
okay.
on my mother's side. I have a couple of sisters that are out in different areas of the
Mhm.
country.
Yeah.
You usually ask what's somebody that inspires you,
Mhm.
and I would say my father. You know, he went to prison around the time I was 9. He came out, and he's really done a lot with his life since then.
Really?
Yeah, he joined AA, and he's a sponsor to some people. He's a leader in the Appalachian Mountain Club. He's a supervisor at his job. He kinda came from the bottom, went to the top.
Yeah.
I've seen that personally, I've seen him grow. You know,
Mhm.
he came back into my life, he's helping me grow.
Mhm.
So that's another thing that kinda influenced me. He inspires me.
Ah, that's great. I love hearing that. That's wonderful. So when did you reconcile with your dad or when did he come back into your life?
I think he was in prison for a little over 4 years, and it was definitely weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 13. I had to remake my relationship with my father,
Mhm.
and it was awkward.
Mhm.
I think recently we've become a lot more close.
Mhm.
Like I said, we go on hikes together all the time and stuff like that. He's kinda like the main guy in my life. Obviously, I have my buddies, but mainly close to my father now.
Yeah. And your mom's still living?
Yes.
Yeah. And they're both in the area, your parents?
Yeah. Pops is in Orange, mom's is in Greenfield with me.
Mm. Oh, that's great to hear. Do you have someone who is a mentor for you at CNG?
I would say, Hood, Jason Hood is definitely a mentor. He's been here 20 years. He goes around, he helps guys out a lot. I think he's a good human being. He has like a
Mhm.
human side to him. You know, we talked earlier about kind of down the line people caring about each other. You know, having a what's the word for it? I don't know the word for it, but people caring about each other. And Jason's definitely one of those people. You know, I was working a lot of overtime at one point and I was getting really burnt out. I was having a rough couple of weeks actually. And I was like, "Hey man, I'm feeling this way." We talked about it and I was like, "Oh, I could really use a vacation." He was like, "Boom, here's a vacation." You know what I mean? Like immediately. He was like, "Yeah, go get yourself some time off, recuperate." You know, it's not just results driven, like,
Yeah.
"Go, go, go, we gotta get this done," you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I think it's the power of connection, that we're real people, right?
Yeah,
Working with each other, not just, a number or the next employee that comes in, but, you know each other as people and feel more connected and there for each other, right?
right.
Dennis, time to turn the table. Is there any question you want to ask me?
How long have you been at C&G?
Okay. So I have been at C&G since 2006, but during that time, it's had many different names. So in 2006, it was owned by Appleton Paper. And at that point, it was known as NEX or New England Extrusion. And that was the original Turner's Falls plant was New England Extrusion, the NEX. And then it was sold to private equity in 2010. And then it was still known as NEX. And then we acquired a company named Charter Films in 2012, and then it became Charter NEX. And then in 2019, we merged with Next Generation and it became Next Generation Films. So it's basically NEX, and then we added the T, Next Generation. So Charter Next Generation, that was the origin of CNG.
It's kinda meant to be.
It was meant to be. You know what? I say that all the time. It was meant to be, bringing together two powerhouse companies and creating CNG.
Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Sure.
So, you've been here 18 years, what's the biggest change in, like, culture that you've seen over that 18
Yeah,
years?
that's a great question. And without a doubt, I would say in 2021, when we gave equity ownership to all of our employees, really aligning the interests of everyone. It's in everyone's best interest to make the company better, make our company worth more money so that all of our employee owners can benefit when the company is sold again in the future. And I think in doing that, and in working hard to focus on engagement and focusing on people, not just on production, but focusing on people. I think that's had the biggest impact on what our culture is like. Really creating that owner mindset with our employees.
I definitely haven't seen the change because I haven't been here a long time, but I see it now. That's definitely a big thing.
Yeah, where people are thinking and acting like owners. Do you see that kind of behavior?
Absolutely, every
Yeah.
day.
And give me an example.
Scrap numbers, I was actually just in the lobby talking with Santos about that, how we wanna get, our bonus next quarter to be above and beyond because it's
Yeah.
all in our control. That's what we
Yes.
were talking about, scrap
Right.
numbers and quality complaints and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Control the controllables.
Yes.
All right. Well, Dennis, this has been such a great conversation. You really inspire me.
Thank you. This has been great.